FSC Biology, FSC Biology Chapter 10, the last part of this chapter, equally important as invertebrates for the preparation of PPSC lecturer and subject specialist zoology and biology. In this last part of Chapter 10, we shall discuss these major groups of organisms: phylum Hemichordata, Chordata, and the superclass Pisces, the Condictyes, Osteichthyes, and the superclass Tetrapoda, amphibia, reptilia, aves, and mammals. Let's start. Phylum Hemichordata. Hemichordates have both echinodermata and chordata features. That's why hemichordates can be asked as a link between echinoderms and chordates. They are also called prechordates. Common examples are Balanoglossus and Succoglossus, very important examples with respect to hemichordates. Body has three regions: proboscis, collar, and trunk, and gill slits are present behind the collar, that is a unique feature. Single glomerulus is present in excretory system. These are the important features for hemichordates, only for you to remember for PPSC. Phylum Chordata. The name chordata is due to notochord, which is a rod-like semi-rigid body with vacuolated cells having proteinaceous material. Primary function of notochord is to provide support and skeletal axis. That skeletal axis is used as a standard for dorsal, ventral, lateral sides. Three basic characteristics possessed by all chordates are notochord, dorsal hollow central nervous system, and pharyngeal gill slits. Please remember, these features have already been asked many times in the past papers. Gill slits are functional in larvae of frogs, while they functional throughout life in amphioxus and fishes. Now, urochordates and cephalochordates are lower chordates or acraniates, while urochordates are also called tunicates because of the tunic membrane or tunic covering outside the body. For example, Molgula. Molgula is a tunicate, please remember. Cephalochordates have notochord throughout their life, for example in amphioxus. Now here is the brief classification of phylum Chordata, equally important for you to remember and learn. Phylum Chordata is further divided into two major groups, acrania and craniata, on the basis of presence of cranium or skull. Now acraniata is further divided into urochordata and cephalochordata. That's why they are called lower chordates. Now, cephalochordate has only one important class, and that is Leptochordae. Leptochordae example is Branchiostoma, and the commonly Branchiostoma is called as Amphioxus, while urochordates have three classes: Larvaceae, Acidiaceae, and Thaliaceae. Now, examples of these classes are important for you to remember. The example of Larvaceae is Icopleura, Acidea, and for Thaliaceae it is Salpa. While the other group, craniata or vertebrata, is further divided into two superclasses, superclass Pisces and superclass Tetrapoda. Now superclass Pisces have further three classes: Cyclostomata, Condictyes, the cartilaginous fishes, and Osteichthyes, the bony fishes. And superclass Tetrapoda has further four classes: class Amphibia, Reptilia, Aves, and mammals. Now that is the basic scheme of classification of chordates. Another classification is also done. Chordates are classified into two groups based on presence of fetal membrane in embryos. Now fetal membrane is amnion here. Now anamniotes are those which do not have amnion, are cyclostomes, Condictyes, Osteichthyes, and amphibians. Amphibians are important here to remember that amphibians are anamniotes, and the amniotes are reptile, aves, and mammals. Cyclostomes, most primitive vertebrates. They do not have jaws, or they are jaw-less fishes or jaw-less vertebrates. Lampreys and hagfishes are two important groups of cyclostomes. In cyclostomes, scales and paired appendages are absent. Please remember. Cartilaginous skeleton with ventral sectorial mouth. Mouth is present on lower side. Only one auricle in heart, and stomach is absent from the digestive tract or alimentary canal. 6 to 14 pairs of gills. Please remember, up to 14 pairs of gills are present in cyclostomes. Sexes are separate in lampreys, while eggfishes have both sexes in one, that is, they are hermaphrodites. And in lampreys, the larval stage is very long. These are the important points for you to remember about cyclostomes. Chondric thighs, the cartilaginous fishes. They are cartilaginous, including sharks and rays. Sharks and rays are two important groups in chondric thighs, and the rays may be stingrays and electric rays, which are other groups. Cartilaginous skeleton is degenerative character, not primitive. So degenerated means it is evolved suddenly or in modern ages, not in the primitive ages. Major characters of chondric thighs are fusiform body, olfaction not connected to mouth, which is connected to mouth in modern vertebrates. Placoid scales. Placoid scales MCQ has already been asked in the past papers about chondric thighs. J-shaped stomach. Stomach is present while it is absent in cyclostomes. 5 to 7 pairs of gills, and in previous slide we have seen that there were 6 to 14 pairs. Without operculum, that is another unique feature here, that operculum is absent in chondric thighs, and no swim bladder as well for buoyancy. They are bottom dwellers. They live at the bottom of the sea or in the beds. Pectoral fins are enlarged for swimming, that is difference from the ostrich thighs. Stingrays has long spiny tail which can harm you or can injure the other organisms, while electric rays has dorsal muscles as electric organs. So the electric shocks are produced basically from dorsal muscles. Shark liver oil has vitamin A and D, and skin is used to make articles. So the skin use of these sharks is important here, because other fishes' skin is not used for articles. Ostrich thighs, the bony fishes. Bony fishes and notochord may persist in parts, not whole. Scales are not placoid, but dermal like ganoids, cycloids and ctenoids. These three names are important here for you to remember. These are types of dermal scales. Now, median, dorsal, caudal and anal fins are single fins, but pectoral and pelvic fins are paired, made of both cartilage and bone in bony fishes. Gills are covered by operculum, which is a difference from chondric thighs. Swim bladder is present, that is another difference. In chondric thighs, swim bladder is absent, while in ostrich thighs it is present for buoyancy. And the gases are oxygen, carbon dioxide and nitrogen, which are filled in the swim bladder, which provide them buoyancy to go deep as well as to come to the surface of the water. Two-chambered heart with one auricle and one ventricle, that is single circuit circulation, is present in ostrich thighs. Now, red blood cells are nucleated when they are mature, that is different from other higher vertebrates. 10 pairs of cranial nerves in brain, that is different from the human. Dipnai were primitive fishes with lungs, so they are also called as lung fishes. Class Amphibia. Amphibians were evolved from Dipnai during Devonian period. These ages or periods are very, very important for you to remember. They have dual habitats, water as well as land. That's why they are given this name Amphibia. They have gills in their larval forms. Now, caecilians are amphibians which do not have legs. They are different from snakes, please remember. Skin is smooth and moist with no scales. It has glands as well as chromatophores. Chromatophores are pigment cells which create some kind of colors on the skin. Heart is three-chambered. Atria, ventricle, sinus venosus and truncus arteriosus. These three names are important for you to remember. Amphibians are cold-blooded or pykilotherms which hibernate in water, that is they cannot maintain their internal body temperature. Examples are frogs, toads, and salamanders. So salamander is confusing. Please remember that salamanders are amphibians. They are not reptiles. Class Reptilia. Fertilization is internal and they have copulatory organs as well. They have large yolky eggs with leathery shell around to protect them from dryness. They have dry scaly skins. Now amnion, chorion and allantois are three embryonic layers which are present in the embryo of reptiles. Ventricle is incompletely partitioned in the heart, but in crocodiles it is completely partitioned, and both these conditions are of reptiles. Now remember the distinction of crocodiles here. They are also cold-blooded and hibernate in winter. They flourished during Mesozoic era about 225 to 65 million years ago. So the period or age for Mesozoic era is 225 to 65 million years. So remember also this, but not in tertiary period. In tertiary period, most of the reptiles become extinct, like dinosaurs about 65 million years ago. Only 4 main links exist today from those previous organisms: lizards and snakes, Tatura the sphenodon of New Zealand, and crocodiles are the most important. Now, reptiles of today are derived from dinosaurs of Jurassic and Cretaceous periods. Jurassic and Cretaceous. Modern reptiles flourish only in tropical zones of Earth or tropical regions, that is warm regions. Modern birds and crocodiles have common ancestry. Birds and crocodiles. The class Aves birds. Birds evolved during along with mammals from reptiles during the evolution. Earliest known bird fossil is Archaeopteryx. 2 species of Archaeopteryx have been found in Jurassic period. The size of Archaeopteryx was almost equal to a crow with similar skull like modern birds. It had bony teeth, and you remember that our teeth are not bony. In the jaw extended to beak, unlike modern birds. Each wing of Archaeopteryx had 3 claws. Now Archaeopteryx resembled dinosaurs and is connecting link between reptiles and birds. This MCQ has already been asked many times in the PPSC. Many other birds are also found having teeth in the past, not only Archaeopteryx. In eagle, both ovaries and oviducts are functional. That is a unique feature which we shall relate later. Now, bird body is spindle shaped with head, neck, trunk and tail. So there are 4 prominent parts of the body. Birds are warm blooded, that is homeothermic, and they can maintain their internal temperature. Hind limbs are used for perching and for running in ostrich or kiwi, while forelimbs are wings. Exoskeleton is epidermal like feathers and scales. So we can say that in birds, exoskeleton is present to some extent. Bones are hollow with air spaces, so body is light for flight, and these air spaces are also important for respiration. Large sockets in skull, jaw extend to homi-beak without teeth. Right aorta curves to right, then bends backward. Now please remember, right aorta curves to right, so that is right aortic arch. Air sacs are present in lungs, which extend to bones as well. Syrinx is another important term for you to remember, is an organ of voice in birds. No bladder in excretory system. Urinary bladder is absent in birds, and urine is secreted in semi-solid form. So the excretory product in birds is urine. In most birds, only one ovary and oviduct is functional, except eagle. So that is the exception, please remember. Absence of teeth is overcome by gizzard, which is muscular and used to crush or churn the hard food. Ostrich and kiwi are examples of running birds. Class Mammalia. The term mammal was coined by Linnaeus for breastfeeders or milk feeders. Most important advancement in mammals is development of brain. Mammals evolved from reptiles, the cotylosaurs. Please remember, cotylosaurs are the ancestors of mammals. Mammal-like reptiles lived in Jurassic along with reptiles. Waranope is an early mammal fossil found in Texas that was during Jurassic period. About 5 groups were of mammal-like reptiles during Jurassic time. Mammals became dominant in Cenozoic period. In mammals, diaphragm, and please remember diaphragm is only present in mammals, separates thoracic and abdominal cavity. Only one bone, the mandible, in lower jaw. Pinna, the ear pinna, is present only in mammals with malleus, incus and stapes bones in middle ear. Please remember these bones are present in middle ear. Stapes is the smallest bone. Teeth in mammals are deciduous and permanent. The word deciduous here is important. Left aortic arch is present, and in birds we have seen that right aortic arch is present, unlike birds. RBCs are non-nucleated, and in fishes we have seen that they are nucleated. Larynx and epiglottis are voice apparatus in mammals. Viviparous are those which give birth to young ones, and oviparous are those which give which lay eggs. So mammals mostly are viviparous. There are 3 subclasses of mammals: Prototheria, Metatheria and Eutheria. Now we shall discuss the features of each class in a single slide so that we may compare them easily and can remember them. Prototherians are egg-laying mammals. They are actually link between reptiles and mammals. That is very important MCQ. They have bill and webbed feet similar to ducks. Female feed milk. They have cloaca and single cloacal opening for urinogenital as well as digestive system, and that is the feature of reptiles or birds. Now, duckbill platypus and echidna, the spiny anteater, are the famous examples of prototherians. Metatherians are pouched mammals or marsupial mammals. They are most primitive mammals. Please remember that most primitive mammals are metatherians. They have abdominal marsupium or abdominal pouch. They give birth to immature youngs, and those immature youngs live in the marsupium and until they are fully developed. Nipples of milk glands are present in the marsupium. Now examples are opossum, kangaroo and Tasmanian wolf. So Tasmanian wolf here is to remember, please, it is a metatherian and has a pouch. Eutheria are also called as placental mammals. They give young birth to youngs which are fully developed. Placenta nourish fetus and secrete hormones also. In some, hairs are modified. Please remember that the scales and spines in the mammals are modified hairs, like in pangolin the scales and in porcupine the spines. Bat is a flying mammal. Man, elephant, dolphin and whales. Whale is important here to focus that whales are fishes but they are mammals. So that is it for chapter 10. In the next video, inshallah, we shall discuss chapter 11 complete, the bioenergetics, which is another very important chapter for PPSC because the respiration part of this chapter is more important, and 3 or 4 MCQs are asked from that respiratory part. So stay successful, stay healthy, stay happy. Allah Hafiz.